I like it. I like this better.
Coach Ladner, you're about a little over, I guess, less than 2 weeks away from the season starting. Can you just say how you feel about, how you feel about your team, and tell us a little bit about how the practice has been going since we last talked to you?
Okay. I want to probably repeat. I like our team. We've got a lot of new faces. When I say new, high school guys, Division I transfers, junior college guys. I always refer to it as being in South Mississippi. We got a gumbo of guys, and we got it takes a little while for that gumbo to make what's gumbo the end product, as y'all know, and so that's where we kind of are. And when you get a lot of new players, and y'all are going to be Justin Johnson being one of the guys I think that David has on this morning. I think he's coming on after me because I'm sitting here looking at him. And anyway, he, like a lot of players, they have a lot to learn about the level that you have to play at to play Division I. Talent, no question for our guys. We're a much more talented team than we were, but we're not where we need to be in terms of really being ready to play a game. If we don't, and I say if we don't, I don't want to say this in a negative way, some things that we have to tighten up. We had a scrimmage last Sunday morning with officials and so forth, and we've got to do a better job in a number of areas. Specifically, our commitment to defense it was very much lacking, and it's gonna we don't have the exhibition games and the warm-up type games. I mean, we're going right into the fray against some very good teams right off the bat. And if we're not ready, it's gonna cost us. I don't want to have to us learn from our mistakes, so to speak, when we don't pay attention to detail and lessons that have been worked on and trained in practice. So certainly our commitment to defense, it's got to get better as a team. I'm speaking in general here. Certainly our attention to detail and toughness in terms of rebounding the basketball, loose balls, effort, our offensive execution, turning the basketball over too much. Those are some areas that we've really tried to address the last couple of days, and we'll continue to address as we prepare for next Thursday. We're talking about one of the things a term we used yesterday is cleanup week. So let's start trying to clean these things up. The exciting thing is all those things that I just talked about are all correctable. I like our ceiling. We're just still a work in progress. It's going to take a little bit of time to get where the standard that we want to set for Southern Miss basketball.
Coach, could you, kind of breaking off what you just said, can you kind of talk about the process of putting in your offense with so many new faces?
Yeah. It's like starting off, Glenn. It's like starting again. It's funny. I was mentioning we have one scholarship senior on our team in LaDavia Strain. We have one other senior, Clay Witherspoon, on our team. 9 new faces of our 17-man roster. And I mentioned this after practice. Coach Rowan and I were having a post-practice meeting yesterday, getting our notes set for today's practice. And we were talking about the same thing. I said, you just can't put a value on experience. And it's just, and I don't care what sport it is. You can go over to our football program, baseball, same thing. But guys that have been through a year-long training cycle, but it's really like starting over again. Terminology, so many guys come from such varied backgrounds, diverse backgrounds. Some of them have come from situations where they have been very well prepared and coached. Others not so much. And but that's okay. That's part of it, and it just takes a little more time to bring other guys up to speed. But the biggest transition, I think, and again, this is my 30th year as a head basketball coach. The biggest my experience in junior college, 2 years, and 5 years at Southeastern Louisiana, and now my 2nd year here. The biggest thing I've found from high school and junior college players as they have played their first, they don't quite understand the effort that you have to play with consistently. You can't take plays off. You can't, You can't relax. You can't not be alert and concentrating on either end. And as soon as you do, something bad's about to happen to your team. So anyway, that takes a little time for those guys to understand that. But again, we're trying our best to impart those lessons to them. So again, it doesn't have to be from losses. We don't have any easy games on our schedule. I mean, you would look at we have one non-D1. That's William Carey. William Carey has beaten Southern Miss 2 of the last 6 years we played. So there are no easy ones. But again, I like our team. I like practice. When you become engulfed 24 hours a day of thinking about your team and excited about your team and excited about getting to the next practice every day, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And sometimes, to be honest with you, last year it was like I had to get myself psyched up because I knew it was going to be a battle down there every day to get us to try to, do what I needed to do, or my part in doing, bringing energy and excitement to practice. But this group makes it a lot easier to do that. I'll tell you that.
Coach, talking about that kind of that grind you were talking about last year, there were times, if Gabe or Drain were not hot at different periods of the game, it got to be kind of a grind shooting the basketball at times. How are y'all different in that aspect this season?
Well, through recruiting, we've got a lot more guys that can score the ball. Now, I will say this. We haven't shot the ball as well as I think we're capable of in practice. Some of that has to do with a lack of a developing chemistry. That's the better way to put it. It's not a lack of chemistry. We've got good guys, talented guys that are good team basketball players, and we are sharing the ball. It's just we're not quite there yet. We're still it's almost like we're a half second behind things sometimes. Ball being delivered late, or should I shoot it? Should I not shoot it? So we're still kind of figuring all that stuff out. That just comes with some experience with each other. That'll get better and better. But we like you mentioned, we were very, very limited last year at times. And if we were in a situation where Drain or Gabe or both at times weren't making shots, and we would struggle. We would really struggle, and it was like pulling teeth sometimes to try to find baskets. But you can score, Glenn, and well, let me just finish up that thought. We certainly have a lot more guys capable of scoring, and once we develop that necessary chemistry, we improve our execution. I think that we've got really a chance to have a pretty good offensive basketball team. The other way was another thing. So many of our players, we had this little talk yesterday. So many of our guys are under the mindset that you impact winning only by scoring, and that's such a wrong way to look at things. And I said, okay. I said, if that's who you are as a player, this is what I verbatim told our players yesterday. I said, if that's who you are, I said, I'll make that deal with you. I said, but you have to understand now, the games that you're 2 for 7 or 2 for 8 or 2 for 9, 1 for 8 from the field, then you're going to sit down. Okay. Because that's the decision made. You make shots, I'll keep you in there. But if you don't, a basketball player has to impact winning without scoring. And that's defense, rebounding, execution, being where you're supposed to be. And so that's what I want our players to understand. Let's do those things that you can control on a night-in basis. And then some nights, there's going to be nights where Justin Johnson this year has 25. There may be other night and we win, but I want it the night that he has 5 for us to be able to win, because he's doing all those other things every single night anyway. And that's what I don't want it to just be, hey, I got 25 tonight, we did good, but the next night I'm not shooting well and we don't win. You have to impact winning in a lot of ways, and that's by doing all the other things it takes to win basketball games. So it's ironic that you mentioned that. You weren't watching practice yesterday, were you, Glenn? Because I had that same conversation yesterday with our players.
Coach Ladner. Oh, go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Glenn.
No, I was just saying I was there in spirit.
Yeah, there you go. I know both of you are. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Coach, I guess a question, follow-up I had the last week. You had said something about you're going to speak to Drain about the 6th man coming off the bench. Did y'all have that conversation? How did it go? And are you still
Let me tell you
considering
what.
that?
First of all, right now, of course, we're going to start him, and we said we're just going to play this. But yeah, and let me just tell you about Drain. Drain doesn't say much. Did y'all have him on last week?
Yes.
Okay. He didn't have much to say, I bet, did he? He's a one answer guy, but a great young man. I couldn't think more highly of a young man than I do of Drain. He's perfect for our program, and has had a great career here. His response was, "Coach, I'll do whatever you need me to do." So right now, like I said, and I answered this last week the same way. Of course, we would start him. I'm going to do if he thinks he's better coming off the bench, we're going to bring him off the bench. I just love his attitude, and if you want to start me, you start me. If you want me to come off the bench, I'll come off the bench. It doesn't matter to me. That was his response. So I couldn't have asked for a better response, Heath. But I think you're insightful with that because you understand the value he had 2 years ago. With Coach Sadler's in Coach Sadler's last season there, and the way he finished the year. Jeff Mitchell mentioned the same thing. Our assistant athletic director was saying the same thing. He said Drain had gotten into such a zone later in the season that he said as soon as the ball was kicked out there to him, he said the crowd already start standing up, because he was going to knock it down. We need him to get to that point, and I think you'll see that because our improved point guard play. Certainly Justin Johnson, Tay Hardy, Jay Malone, all those guys are. I think that we've just going to have overall better point guard play. I think through the entire point guard core that's out there, and that's going to help guys like Drain.
I know this may be kind of your question, but I wanted to talk to you about the length of the team this year as compared to last year. You keep saying your athletic have more length. Can you talk about how that's going to help you on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah,
as much. We already know what you got offensively, but maybe a little bit on the defense. I
think first of all, the optic of it, Heath. Last year, we started Jay Malone. Jay's 5'9", 5'10". I don't care what we list him as, what David Cohen lists him as, and I'm telling you what y'all know him, y'all seen him, been around him. He's a small guy. Gabe was 6'1". Then Drain and 6'3", 6'4". Leonard Baker. Most of the time Artur, Tyler. Then in that other spot, and 6'6". So, I mean, we were an incredibly small team. Leonard, 6'5", just a really, really small basketball team. Where we're longer at every position. We'll be much bigger in the post. We struggled with post depth last year. Of course, you had Bobin and Big Bobin Giudoni. And by the way, he had a great initial game for his Glasgow in Scotland. He's playing for a professional team. Had a good start over there. I was proud to see that. But, Tyler Mormon, Denaje Harris would be playing for the first time for us in the post. Certainly Tyler, no taller, but so much bigger and stronger. Y'all going to be amazed when you see him there. Who am I leaving out there in the post? DeAndre Pinckney, big DeAndre, 6'9". He's beginning to get himself back in condition after a pretty bad injury last year in junior college. So we're much bigger in the post across the board than we were. But our real change in size is in our guards. Certainly Justin Johnson brings great length. When he's really locked in out there, he can be a good defender because of his length. Jerron Pierre's long. Angel Smith back from his injury, he's long. We're just bigger across the board, and again, optically, you'll see that when y'all see us for the first time.
Coach, what's the process of bringing along a guy like Javazier, kind of coming in with some physical tools, but maybe needs to learn the game and how to work in the block.
Yeah, Javarzier Belton, first of all, is an incredible young man, high character, just love him to death. Love him like we do all. We love all of our players like their sons and treat them like that. Javarzier has been blessed like no one I have ever seen, with an incredible physicality, an incredible body, big, wide bulk. What he has to understand, like a lot of young guys, he's very raw. We want him to move faster. We want him to play harder. He's still in that development stage of the level of speed and aggressiveness and urgency that you have to play with. Because I would imagine, I've never had this conversation with Javarzier, and of course he grew up in South Carolina, but I would imagine that he's been the biggest, widest son of a gun his whole life. And if you go back, Glenn, to playing Pee Wee basketball here in town at Tim's Elementary or Woodley or Oak Grove or wherever it may have been here in town, he probably was that big guy, and the coach probably put him right up under the basket, and he wasn't ever expected to do much. Well, we want to develop our players to be basketball players. We want them to be able to dribble and shoot and pass, play inside, face the basket, and move. And I don't know whether he's still in that process. So he's going to have some. He's a great kid. We love him. He's got some, but he's going to have some work to do because the one issue and concern that we have with him, his big old strong body, is that he's got to get his tail back on defense, and we want to be getting after people and playing with up tempo and with some pressure. And so he's still learning. But look, he's on track. We knew that it was going to be a process when we got him, but he has certainly been blessed. And what we can't teach is his size. And I've never seen anyone as developed physically as he is, as young as he is. So anyway, he's still a project for us. But again, he's on track of where we thought he would be.
Great.
Anything else?
David saying my time's up. Glenn, thank y'all. You, Heath.
Thanks, Coach.
And Thanks, Coach.
I think Justin, I'll let David said anything, but thank y'all so much for covering us. I really appreciate it. And y'all have always been fair and balanced to us. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. And we're excited though about the season and excited about getting started. And we're to the point now, we're getting very close. I think we'll be right on schedule next week. We're very close to needing to play somebody else. We need to play somebody else, because we're going to find out, they're going to find out all the stuff we've been complaining about in practice and coaching. They're going to find out why next Thursday. So, or Friday, when do we play? Friday, next Friday. They keep changing this schedule, which we better all get used to, right? So anyway, thank y'all. I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Right, Coach.
How y'all doing? Thank you.
Good. I guess you saw Coach DeColvey on the wall behind you, huh?
Yeah, sir. All right, questions.
Justin, could you kind of talk about the moving from the JUCO level to this level? What have been some of the eye openers for you?
Like Coach said, just locking in, staying locked in the whole 40 minutes. We've been scrimmaging and stuff. We just, defense, helping. Coach Ladner has been teaching a lot of that stuff. So I'm really thankful for him, getting us prepared for the season and, just so we could be ready for that first game.
Coach Ladner just talked to us about not only win the game on offense, but win the game on the defensive side of the ball. How do you feel like the team is taking that, and how do you feel like your guys' practices on defense have been so far? And are you kind of happy with where you're at, or just talk a little bit about that?
I mean, everybody's listening, and being a team, everybody's trying to get better on the defensive side. Coach Ladner's still teaching new things every day. So, there's still room for improvement for everybody, including myself. So we're still learning a lot more stuff, getting prepared for next week.
Justin, I know you hadn't been here long, but just in the time you spent with these guys every day practicing, could you kind of, describe or give your thoughts on what kind of team you think this is? Athletic team, a team that's going to get up and down the floor, things
Yeah.
of that nature?
Yes, sir. This team is really good. I believe we can go very far if we just stick together and just play together and just we can have a really good season. Everybody, all the guys are chemistry is good. It could be better, but it's getting there. All the guys are really cool. For this being my first year, they're teaching me stuff. It's been really good.
You just talked about, the team coming together. Is it an aspect of, with so many new guys coming in yourself and so few of guys that have been there for as long as they have, is that an aspect of just trying? What's the biggest barrier you think in you guys really becoming that unit that you want to see yourselves be?
I would say just to be the really good team. Just sticking together. It's been some rough days, but everybody has each other's back. That's the most important thing. Just having each other's back on bad days and good days. So just sticking together. That'll help us be that team to bring Southern Miss to the top.
Artur.
How you doing, buddy?
Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm doing
You
good.
too. All right, let's get it. Artur, talk a little bit about the team this year, and you've talked about it, but maybe for everybody else, I guess, what is the biggest difference that you've seen this year with this group, with this team as compared to last year?
I would say the overall the atmosphere is different. You can tell that everybody wants to be here, wants to wear the Southern Miss jersey. They want to play for the USM, and everybody wants to get better. And I think our attitude is right. That's the biggest difference, I think.
Artur, you played a whole lot last year as a true freshman. Could you kind of let us know where you're at after a year? Where do you think your game's improved? Your game, your body. Where are you at now after a year?
Yeah, for a freshman, I got a lot of minutes, and I'm very thankful for coach for letting me play that and trusting me like that. And I think I improved a lot, and the biggest aspect I improved in, I think, would be confidence. And I know it was the first time playing at this level, completely new level of basketball. I haven't played in D1 before, so now I know what's it all about. I know what is the game like here. I know it's fast paced. Players are faster, more aggressive, stronger. And now I think I'm more prepared for it. Yeah.
Artur, you just talked a little bit about it. Where do you think, with being more prepared, where do you see yourself playing? Last year, you were asked to do a lot more outside shooting. I know you can do that, but you see yourself playing in the paint more this season, especially with as many and more shooters and scorers as you have on the team. Does that give you a chance to play a lot more defense and be the lockdown defender?
I have always wanted to be versatile and not stick to one position. And I think that's my advantage, that I can play inside and outside. And I just do what coach tells me to do. If he wants me to play outside, play the three, play the guard, then I will do that. And I love to do that. And also, if I see that I got a small guard defending me, then I have advantage in the paint. I just coach can use me on both sides, and I think we can use that as an advantage.
Artur, while you were away this summer, what were some of the things that you went to the gym with and worked on that you felt like you needed to get better to bring into this year, be it shooting, ball handling, whatever?
Biggest issue, I think, is staying low on the drives, defending. I have a bad habit standing straight up, and I was trying to work on that. during national team camps during the summer back at home in Estonia. Yeah, I think that's my biggest issue right now. And also, yes, I have worked a lot on ball handling and looking forward when I'm dribbling the ball, not looking at the ball. Yeah, I worked on that.
Can you talk about you've got Mark on the team now? Can you just talk about how that makes you feel as somebody, you know, from not from here, but that came in, but you got somebody now that you know really well that's a friend of yours. How comforting is that to you and also to him that y'all have each other to play off of for situations and different things that you guys may, you know, maybe something that you go through that not other people do?
Hmm. Yeah, I'm really happy that he's here. I'm really happy that they recruited him. It's like the same situation with Tyler Stevenson and Denaje Harris. They're like two brothers also, and me and Mark have the same chemistry, same relationship, and like we have always like known each other. We played against each other when we were 13, 14, so we have known each other since since 13, and I have always had a good friendship with him, and here I have somebody to like talk to when I'm like I don't have the best times. When I have a bad day, I have somebody to talk to in Estonian. Last year I didn't have that. Of course I had coaches, but it's different when you have somebody, a close friend, who can like give you a support. So yeah, this year I'm feeling a lot more confident about that.